I do what I do.
No word, no confession, no deal. He just chose silence. So a couple of weeks later, on October 10th, he was hung. He was hung alongside 30 of his followers where they were executed. Because see, here's the thing. Gabriel never truly died. See, his idea that black people could not only be free, but could govern themselves, that survived. And he wasn't just resisting change, he was rejecting the very premise of white supremacy. He believed that dignity was not granted by law or a slaveholder. It was born in the soul. You understand me? And these are the people that we cut from. All right, now let's move on 11. Let's move on to 1811. Let's talk about the German Coast Uprising. Shout out to all my people down in Louisiana. Okay, this is another one of the stories that are of our active resistance, right? That they don't want to talk about. This is the largest slave rebellion in the United States of America, but it's not the most famous. All right, they don't want to talk about this. I've actually been to this site. You got to go down to New Orleans. They got a little plaque. You walk, you drive right past it. They don't even, you never know. You see? Not one Hollywood film was made about this. And it happened in the shadow of sugarcane fields just outside of New Orleans. It was the year again, it was 1811. The place, they call it the German Coast of Louisiana. And the men who led it, hundreds of black people who basically said enough is enough. This wasn't a few desperate men. This was an army. They had 500. That's the size of a battalion, right? Is that about the size of a battalion, fellas? Or Garrett, is that about the size of 500 black men with sugarcane knives and axes, whatever else they could find. Their goal was to march more than 20 miles downriver to New Orleans. They were going to torch every plantation as they went by, and they were going to free all the black people, claiming their liberation by force. And at the center of it was a man named Charles Deslondes. He was a biracial enslaved black man, originally from Saint-Domingue, Haiti. Okay? See, the other thing I want you all to understand, and I know that we are on our FBA, I get that, okay? But there's some realities that we have to deal with. And I want y'all to understand the realities, okay? Louisiana was a Spanish territory. It was a French territory before it became an American territory. And so was Hispaniola, which is actually a Spanish name, okay? So imagine driving from Houston to Dallas, or driving from Buffalo, New York to New York City. All of that is the territory of New York. All of that is the territory of Texas. Going from New Orleans to Saint-Domingue or Haiti was the norm. So there's a lot of mixture. If you look deep enough, you probably got some, if you FBA all the way, but if you look deep enough, your people were probably brought up from the Caribbean, because remember the Caribbean was called the seasoning plantations. They would bring the Africans over. They wouldn't bring them directly to the United States. Okay, the currents didn't work like that. The winds didn't work like that. We didn't have them come. We would bring them up through the Caribbean, the seasoning islands. We would season them. Season them means soften them up. Season them means get some of that wild African out of them. Okay, they had to be processed. You can't just drop an African who had freedom off here. You got to take him down to the Caribbean and season him. Jamaica was notorious for seasoning. They even practiced buck breaking down there. You see? And with a lot of, I don't even want to say that, but it was definitely, it was dehumanizing, it was humiliating, it was emasculating. I'll say that. And that's why those Jamaicans are so adamant against that. They will turn on you down there, because in part of their culture, many of the enslaved men were emasculated, we'll say, as part of the buck breaking process. So this man, who was from Haiti, ended up in New Orleans or Louisiana here on the German coast. And he said, well, you know, the spirit of revolution. Now, this man, Charles Deslondes, and he was sharp and he carried knives. He was known for carrying blades. And by day, he worked as a driver on the Andre plantation. Here's the thing about it. The driver on the plantation is usually the most trusted of the slaves. Shout out to Johnny Harris. Thank you so much. He said an army battalion is 1,000, so they had 500. The driver is the most trusted, and I can see them trusting. He's light-skinned, biracial. He's probably exotic, spoke a little French, you know. You see? He was the overseer. He was the most trusted slave on the plantation. He overseed the other, but by night he was building a revolution. And it all began on the evening of January 8th, 1811. Charles and a small group of rebels attacked the Andre plantation. They wounded the plantation owner, Manuel Andre. They unalived his son, Gilbert. And then they gathered more enslaved black people from the neighboring plantations. Within hours, the rebellion swelled to hundreds of men, and they started marching towards New Orleans. Military-style discipline. They moved fast, they moved fierce. And they made it clear this wasn't about escape. This is about taking. And over the course of 2 days, they burned down at least 5 plantations. They destroyed crops, sugar houses, and homes. And they wore the stolen militia uniforms and beat the drums as they marched. They weren't hiding from confrontation. They were inviting it. You see? And then they carried with them the spirit of that Haitian revolution. See, this is not just rebellion. It's a campaign of liberation. They scared again. This is what white folk was dealing with black folk here in America. But nevertheless, by January 10th, the counterattack came. The white planters came in. They were joined by the United States military and militia forces. You see? Many of these people were French-speaking veterans that had fought alongside Napoleon, and they struck back. You understand what I'm saying? Remember, this was a French territory at the time. You see? They had help, okay? Or at least at one time it was. You see, they unalived about 95. They did some horrible things to them. They literally severed their heads and mounted them on pikes, and they displayed them for miles and miles along the Mississippi River. It was a warning. They were trying to scare them because they were scared. You see? For 2 days, 2 full days, Charles Deslondes and this rebel army, they sent panic throughout the whole South. What they did, again, they showed the enslavers that, you know, you could deal with some coordinated resistance. And this is what it looked like. And remember, there's nobody coming to save these folk. You see? You see? They scared these folks the way laws and lawsuits and pleas can never do. You see? They weren't waiting for Lincoln. They weren't waiting for abolitionists. They weren't even waiting for the perfect moment. They took the moment and they seized it. 500 freedom fighters. So what does that mean? If that's that's your mindset. And of course, we can talk about Denmark Vesey in 1822, city of Charleston, South Carolina. It stood on the edge of revolution. They didn't even know it. You see? They came up with these plans in the houses of worship, in the wood shop, in the markets. It was the most extensive and ambitious slave revolt ever planned in the United States. And at the center of it stood Denmark Vesey. He's a formerly enslaved man who purchased his freedom. He was a free man. Shout out to Mr. Good Vibration 144. He was a free man. And he wanted to free his people. You understand what I'm saying? He was from the Caribbean. 1776. He was enslaved. He was born in 1767. I'm sorry, he was born in the Caribbean before being brought to Charleston. And this man, let me tell you what's funny about this guy. He decides he wants to play the lottery, and he won the lottery.
What's up, what's up, what's up? Welcome, welcome, welcome to the broadcast. This is Uncle D.
People wash their ass in the tub, Kamala Harris.
You were tuned in to Uncle D. D's black man talk. Pull up, homie, take a seat. Don't be a shadow watcher every day. You learn something, then you earn something. Let them know and drop some money in the plate. It's getting cold, ladies, talking ratchet. There's a king here, grab your coat, zip your jacket. Keep quiet for a second, close your jaw. Attorney Spurling, this ain't pearly, know the law. Talking Constitution, pushing pins when he shootin', give him that. Masculinity, just for the record, sprinkle that. You can keep your cat, gotta cut it. Only cat he rubbing, gotta love it. I call it Molly Buddy. Gotta vote your interest, voting earns. Presidential, this is for the money that I earn. When you gon' learn, my people, that evil mixed with evil. No matter what you're doing, baby, this ain't equal. Sometimes when you're special, you get hated. The test is for the best, you're damn right, my people made it. Uncle D, Blizzard King, you been served, gotta notice. Now black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you been served, get your notice. Now black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you been served, get your notice. Now black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you been served, get your notice. Now black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now.
Hey man, I'll do what I do.
Somebody need to whip your ass.
Get up and whip him, Sweets.
Hey, don't be putting the money in my hand all rough.
Take your ass out here. You buy you a Floby and cut your own damn hair from now on.